In this video, we will go over how to create your own unique recipe bundle. So right now I am in the left-hand panel under the recipe bundle section. Now, when I go to this right-hand corner, you see the add button. I'll click the add button and now I can start creating my own recipe bundle from scratch. So I'm just going to title this recipe bundle Quick and Easy. And we'll give it a description, easy and healthy meals, whatever you want to put there as your description. For the tags, this is to remind you why you created this bundle. So let's maybe say it's a gluten-free recipe bundle, perhaps, or it's a family-friendly. You can put all those different tags in there. You can also put the person's name that you created this for if you want to be able to easily go back and see which bundle that you created for that person. So if I created it for Kathy, I could put Kathy's tag in here just to remind myself why I created this bundle. Now, when you go down, you'll be able to see this filter button underneath the recipes section. I'm going to click that filter button, and now I'm going to start finding the breakfast meals that I want to put inside of this bundle. Now, if we wanted to create just a desserts only recipe bundle, you could do that as well, or maybe a smoothie only recipe bundle. You can also create that and you can change the titles of the different meals. Right now, they're set for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, but you can adjust those as well, and I'll show you that momentarily. But for now, let's type in breakfast into this tag section. And then I'm going to type in the other parameters that I want to set. So we had put gluten-free for as an example. Of course, you don't have to do a gluten-free plan, but if you're looking for gluten-free recipes, you would put that tag in. Maybe since this is a quick and easy recipe bundle, maybe I want to set the preparation time for under, 20 minutes per meal. Well, this is breakfast, so maybe even under 10 minutes for breakfast. And then if I want to set any nutrition data, so let's say I always want my clients to have at least 30 grams of protein for breakfast, maybe I go ahead and put that in there. And maybe we're shooting for a calorie range of, 350 to 500 in the morning, or maybe 400 to 500. And I will hit apply, and then we'll get all the recipes that meet those parameters. So from there, I can just search through. You can hover over any of these different grade areas to see what's included. So for example, I'm hovered over the ingredients area now, and it's showing me a list of all of the ingredients included. You can also click on the recipe to give you more details. So if I click on the recipe here, it will give me the full details of this recipe so I can see it in more detail. Now, if I head back here and I say, yes, I do want that recipe in this bundle, I just go ahead and I grab it and I drag and drop it into the recipe bundle. Now, let's go ahead and put a few different recipes in here just to provide a full sample of this bundle. Now I'm going to move on to lunch meals. So I'm going to say, okay, now lunch, preparation time of 15 minutes, no more than 15 minutes at the max. I took out the breakfast tag and I'm putting in the lunch tag. And now maybe for the nutrition, maybe I allow for a little more calories. Again, however you want to address this, remember that the more narrow you set the parameters, the less recipes the system will have to choose from. So if you're not finding that there are enough recipes, just go ahead and expand those parameters slightly. Maybe we set it to 28 grams of protein at a minimum. And maybe we, extend the calories a little bit wider just to get more recipes. So once I hit apply here, again, all the recipes that comply with those parameters will show. And as you can see, the system is continuing to find more and more recipes. And so there's quite a few here. What I'm going to do is go over now to this lunch tab here. So we're switching over to lunch. You also could just press this L button underneath the recipe to get it into the lunch tab. But I like to visually be able to see what I'm building out to remind myself, oh, okay, I already put a salmon dish. I'm not going to put another salmon dish. So let's say I drag and drop this over. Great. You can change the number of servings if you'd like, but I'm just going to leave it at 1. And then maybe we want to have a chicken recipe in there. And this one may be a tuna. Here we go. So we're just going and we're building out the recipe bundle with recipes that fit with the parameters that we set. Now, same thing for snack and dinner. I won't bore you with it, but you can go ahead and fill out snack and dinner. Now, once you've filled out the columns, if you would like to change the title of that column, you can. So in here, if instead of lunch, this was dessert, I could go ahead and put the dessert title there and then also change the description. Okay, so that's where you would do so there I'm going to leave it at lunch since these are in fact lunch meals, but that's how you would do that. Now you can also select the cover image. So if I click on the image here, I can go ahead and I can select an image that I would like to show as my cover page for that specific meal type. Now this is the main cover page, and since we also have breakfast and lunch, we're going to select a breakfast cover and also a lunch cover. Okay, so now that I have that there, also, if you don't want the nutrition data to show, maybe you're working with clients with eating disorders or you don't want them focusing on the nutrition data for whatever reason, you can go ahead and you can toggle this off there. If you do want the nutrition data to show, make sure that you leave that on. Now, once I hit save, this will go ahead and save my recipe bundle and it will populate here. So you'll be able to see your business name, your website, and your logo, whatever you added in the settings section over here on the left-hand column, and then the table of contents and the details of your recipe bundle. Now this will show in your colors, in your fonts, in all of that again, you set under the settings section. So all of that, all those details can be adjusted in the settings section. Now, if there's a recipe in here that you wanted to adjust, let's say this one, for example, didn't have enough protein. Maybe you wanted 35 grams of protein. You could go to this button here, edit and replace recipe, and then I'm going to hit copy and edit recipe. And then maybe I wanted to adjust this to 1.5 cups of cottage cheese, right? I clicked this little edit button here on the ingredients tag. So you can go ahead and you can edit the recipes from the bundle as well. So if you wanted to make some little changes, maybe you're feeling like they don't need the honey, they don't need the extra sugar, maybe you can go ahead and delete that ingredient. Just make sure you go back to the directions setting, and if you made some major changes, that you go ahead and you take out anything from the directions or add anything into the directions that you changed. So for this example, I'm going to take out the drizzle of honey and just add and slivered almonds. There we go. So I've changed the directions to match the ingredients that I've adjusted. This will also ask you to change the title of the recipe. So when I hit save, it'll ask me to put a different title in. I'm just going to put edited for now, but you can put whatever you want since this is now an edited title for a new recipe that you've created. And then hit save. And there we go. We have our recipe bundle. When you are ready to share this bundle, you can either export it as a PDF. So right now this is downloading as a PDF that you could attach into your group programs, perhaps if you have any digital courses or group programs that you have, or you want to have it on as a freebie for your website. When people visit your website and you want them to be able to download a freebie, you could do that. You could also go to this share button here and share it via a link. So if you copy this over, I'm going to toggle this on. I'm going to copy the link. You can or cannot allow export. So I'm going to toggle this on so that if my client wanted to download this, they could. And then when you share it as a link, this is how it will show up on their end, right? So they'll be able to easily see all the meals. If they click this, it will scroll down right to that meal that they selected. And again, your branding will show up on here. The colors that you chose, the fonts that you chose in your settings section, along with your business name, your logo, and your website.